Yeah. Welcome to a fresh new episode of the Fitness Avengers, where we fight fat, frustration, and fitness fakes. I'm your host, NASM Master Trainer Tony Ariola from TotalBodyProject.com, and I'm on a personal mission to simplify fitness for you. Day one, it looks like we're back where we started with this pandemic. Yeah, things are kind of nuts out there. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy, and for those of you who are deciding to get in shape after this pandemic, it might be a while. So it might be time to start getting in shape now. And remember, exercise, sleep, water, good nutrition is just going to help you feel better. And maybe sometimes you're feeling better, but then you walk by the fridge and you open it and you're looking at it, and you're wondering, you walk by the pantry and you hear the chips calling your name. If you're snacking when you're not hungry, if you're finding yourself eating or wandering into the break room, you probably shouldn't be in a break room right now because of COVID, but back in the break room days, then you've probably fallen victim to the fat habit trap. So today I'm going to help you first understand the habits and how the habit loop works. I'm going to help you change those habits. I'm going to show you how to fight back. I'm going to give you simple fitness hacks that you can start doing today to really simplify and help you win habit formation. We're going to have our Ask the Trainer segment. So we're going to talk about the chip problem, exercise spotlight. So I know a lot of you guys are working out from home. I'm going to show you an exclusive workout from my TVP app that you can start doing today. That'll help you keep those abs nice and tight. As always, use the hashtag Mighty Muscle to be entered to our drawing. I'm having a huge promotion with my online training app that should be ready for launch, hopefully at the end of this month. Thank you for everybody that submitted the survey. I really appreciate you guys helping out with this app. I'm looking for it to be a good solution for everyone that's stuck at home right now and making sure that we keep health and fitness in the forefront, especially during these crazy times. So let's talk about habits. Habits are a huge part. They actually solve a lot of problems in our life. That's how habits start. If you think about tying your shoe, at first it was difficult. When you were a kid, hopefully you were a kid when you were learning how to do this, but it was hard. And as you kept practicing, every day was hard, a little hard, more challenging. You got better and you got better and you got better. Eventually it just became an automatic habit. Same thing with driving a car. You put it in drive, push the button, turn on the keys, reverse, look in the rear view, push gas, let go of the brake. There's so many things that happen that are solutions to problems that just become automatic. 40 to 50% of what happens throughout your day are habit based. If you think about everything from taking a shower, brushing your teeth, turning on the light, going to the restroom, all these things, turning on your computer, looking at your phone, they're all habits. The problem is that once we create these habits, then these habits create us. And if we have good habits, then we're in a good boat because we're reading, we're learning, we're exercising, we're going to sleep at the right time, we're properly hydrated, our automatic thoughts are positive thoughts. But if they're not, and you're on the wrong side, where you're in a vicious cycle and your habits are really causing havoc, how do you change that? So today we're going to jump on board and really dive into the habit loop and see if I can help you change some of the habits. They won't change right away. You're talking about a long-term battle, but at least you can start thinking about what you need to do in order to change things, in order for your life to improve. Let's take a look at how habits work. Let's look at every behavior is triggered by a cue. This cue sets off the automatic routine, what we do. And the routine gives us a reward, what we get. Cue, do, get. Cue, do, get. Habits.
So how do I go about changing my bad habits?
We can't change the habit, but what we can do is change the habit loop. First, let's put on our detective hats and do some investigating. Obviously, we want to change what you do, the behavior. But that's not the entire habit. It's only part of the habit loop. We need to find the cue and what you get, the reward.
I like your stash.
Let's go. Here we are at the scene of the crime.
I know. This is so embarrassing. I'm on a diet and here I am, eating a donut.
Stay focused. Is it the donut you wanted? Were you hungry? Did you have low blood sugar?
That's the thing. I don't even like donuts. I just walked into the break room, saw them, grabbed one, and stuffed my mouth.
Are you sure you don't like donuts? I mean, it looks like you like them a lot.
Hey, watch it, Sherlock. I told you I don't like donuts. I was just bored.
Bingo, Watson. Well done. You were bored. Now, let's see if we can find the cue. Okay, Watson, here we are, before the infamous donut disaster happened. What were you doing here? What's going on?
Here, I usually eat my lunch at 12. I've been working for a while, and then I go to the break room.
But why, Watson? Why?
I told you, I was bored.
That's not it. You were bored. We solved that piece. But how did you know you were bored? Think, Watson. Think.
I don't know. Wait, that's it. When I'm bored, I look at the clock, and if it's around 2 p.m., I think I deserve a break, and then I walk to the... That's it.
Quick, back to the lab. Let's solve this case. We know what you get. The donut provides an escape from boredom. The cue seems to be the time of day, 2 p.m.
Correct and correct. Hey, wait. Do you think if instead of the break room, I took a walk outside or talked to a coworker?
Elementary, Watson. Experiment with different behaviors until you find the perfect, healthy one. It'll require work, but you'll be in far better shape. And one more thing.
What?
Are you sure you don't like donuts?
I'm pretty sure she liked donuts. Want to give thanks to Courtney, who was the voice of that character, who shall remain nameless. But if we look at the character's behavior, these are how habits work. And a lot of times we try to focus on changing the behavior, but they all provide some type of reward. And the first thing that we want to figure out is what the reward is. So, what's your cheese? If you want to change your habit, you're getting something at the end. What is it? It's basically the itch to your scratch. For the girl in the video, she was bored. So what helped get rid of the boredness was a snack. And that might be it for you. It might be something as simple as being bored. Maybe you're angry, maybe you're frustrated, maybe you're sad, maybe you're celebrating. There could be a whole plethora of emotions that you could be experiencing that's driving the behaviors. And the first thing you want to figure out is what do you get at the end of that habit? That's the most important thing. The next thing, after you figure out what's driving the behavior, is you want to start looking around for what's the cue? When did this start? Figure out the location. Where are you at? When you walk into the kitchen, is the kitchen a certain cue for you? When you walk into, like, say, a movie theater, when we used to be able to go to movie theaters, you would smell the popcorn and people want popcorn right away. Is it walking into the popcorn? I mean, walking into the movie theater that you want the popcorn? Is it the time? In the morning, people wake up, they want coffee. It could be the time, how you felt, who was around you, certain smell. All these different cues really help figure out what's driving this behavior. And the first step in changing the behavior is identify when it's starting, when it's happening. Probably the most important part is, or when people think about habit change, they always think about changing the actual habit. They want to get the same cheese, right? So maybe they were bored, or maybe they were angry, or maybe whatever it may be, whatever their cheese is at the end, they want to change that behavior. So instead of, say, you're thirsty, instead of grabbing a beer, maybe you grab water. Or if you're bored, instead of eating chips, maybe eat an apple. Or if you're really hungry, right, instead of getting a donut, maybe you grab like a almond bar. Whatever the behavior that you want to change, this is where you want to start doing the heavy work. And it really kind of goes around in this loop. And the problem with habits is that they get ingrained into your brain. They're like neural nets. So what I mean by neural nets is that these thoughts happen in your brain. And the more you have this thought, the bigger the branch. So it just becomes these really embedded neural nets in the brain that make change a lot more difficult. So whenever you're thinking about a new thought, right? So this is the way your brain works, right? Neural net, same. You've thought this before. I always get chips. I always get chips. I always get chips. Now it's like, wait, maybe I should get an apple. No, I always get chips. I always get chips. And it's just a lot easier for your brain to go in that movement. When you have a new thought that branches out from this neural net, it's going to feel difficult and it's going to feel hard. And that's why habits have a really hard time changing. And where I think most people fail is that we want to change our habits overnight. We think that tomorrow we're just going to stop drinking or stop eating chips or stop eating donuts or stop doing whatever it is, that bad habit that we have. But it just doesn't work like that. Habits take a really long time to change. And the longer you've had that habit, the longer it's going to take. So you want to know that walking in, that it's going to take a long time. Another step that is part of it is changing that identity, because when you're starting to change your habits, you're not going to believe yourself. You're going to feel like a fraud. But if you start believing who you are and the habits that person has, like, how does an athlete behave? Well, an athlete goes to work out, they eat right, they take care of their body. How does a runner behave? Well, they go run every day. What does a healthy person eat for lunch? What does a skinny person eat for dinner? Having these identity issues and who you identify with as a person is really gonna dictate the habits that you have. And once you create the habits, then habits create you. So you really want to start working on changing the habits little by little. A couple of good books that I recommend are Atomic Habits and Tiny Habits, that will really help you start implementing those changes. So let's look at some simple things that you can start doing. In order for you to start working on making a behavioral change, like, like eating better throughout the day, or, because this all comes down to weight loss at the end of the day, is that you want to make these good habits, you want to make them as easy as possible, because the harder it is, the harder it is to change. So the six principles for change is: you want it to be cheap. You want it not to cost you any money. If changing your habits costs you a lot of money, then it's going to be really hard to change. The next thing is time. You want to process these so that it takes a little bit of time to change these things. The least amount of time that you can dedicate to changing the habit, the better. We want to look at ability. Can you do this? Right? Can you, like, not eat the chips that day? Some people are like, oh, I can't go. I actually had a client tell me that she would die if she didn't have chips, which was hilarious, right? No one dies without chips. But I told her, look, if I gave you $10,000 to go, a week without chips, could you do it? She's like, yeah, of course. So that just went to show that she could do it. It was something easy. She was just not willing to do it. The next thing is physical effort. Is this hard? Well, moving the pantry, cleaning out the pantry, is it going to be hard? Probably not. Element number 4 is social deviance. What this means is that if it's something that your friends don't accept, or that your husband or your spouse doesn't accept, and it's a habit you're trying to implement, and they're like, I've had it where the husband wants to give up drinking, but the wife doesn't, and then it's a constant battle. That's going to be a really hard battle, because that socially is not accepted in the house. It's not normal. That's another one. And the last one, if it's non-routine. So this is where people try their crazy workouts where they're gonna go, oh, I'm gonna go run 10 miles, and they've never ran before. They haven't ran in years. That's really out of your routine, and that makes it a lot more difficult. So remember, to make habit change easy, you want to look at money. If it's cheap, you want to look at the time, right? Make sure that you can do it. Your ability to do it. Make sure it's physically possible. Make sure it's socially acceptable, and that it fits in your routine. The last part, number 6, was brain cycles. It's got to be something that your brain is able to process, that they're like, okay, this is not too difficult. I can do this. I can literally just move the chips out of the pantry. That's pretty simple. So once you establish that routine of what habits you're going to change, then start by picking one. Start picking one habit. When I work with people online and virtually, people always want to change everything, but you really can't change everything. You have to change one or two really small things and get really good at that, because it's always consistency that's the most important. And we're always looking for progress, not perfection, because we're going to experience a lot of hiccups as we're changing these behaviors. So one easy habit you can do is before you eat something, check the calories. You should never ever eat food that you don't know the calories of. Let me repeat that. Don't ever eat food that you don't know the calories of. Check it first. It's easy. Pull out your cell phone, check, boom, boom, boom. Hey, Google or Alexa, or whoever we're asking now, check the calories, and then before you eat. That way you have some awareness. That's an easy habit to change. The next one, Coke and Diet Coke. Switch it. They taste almost the same, but they give you a savings of about anywhere from 140 to 200 calories for the soda. That's an easy change. So do that. I know people say like, oh, you shouldn't, those fake sugars. Don't worry about that. We're not in that game yet. When you get to that level, then we can play at that level. Right now, we're at the level where you need to stop drinking Coke and eating so many donuts and fast food. That's the level that we're at. So play at that level. Another easy habit you can do is before every meal, drink a full glass of water, because that's going to help you feel fuller. You're going to eat less and you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to eat less. And that's usually what we want. Another easy habit you can do, while it's easy to do, it's really it's an easy strategy, but it's hard to implement, is you want to put the utensil down between bites. So eat, put it down, chew, and then pick up the utensil again. A lot of us eat way too fast, way too fast. So what happens is that before the food even hits our brain, that hey, we're full, we already swallowed it, and we're just like eating this like ah. Some people don't even put the food down, just like ah. So put the utensil down between bites. It's another easy habit that you can start applying today. So those are just some of the tiny habits that you can start applying. And remember, these little habits are going to lead to big changes. You're not looking for a big change today or tomorrow. You're looking to just be a little bit better, a little bit better. And if you just can keep going a little bit better every day, eventually you're going to get this exponential growth. If you don't get better, then you're just going to be starting this game over and over and over again. And I'm telling you, the only difference between you and someone who's super like healthy and ripped and has everything going is just the habits. And the habits are our responsibility, and it's your responsibility. You alone can change this, but it starts with you. It starts with making small choices. And a lot of times you know what these things are. You just got to go ahead and do them and be okay. It's not going to happen overnight. It never will. It never will. There's this old adage that says, I've worked my whole life to become an overnight success. And that's exactly how habits are. You got to keep cranking. You got to keep cranking. You got to keep cranking. When it's hard, all right, maybe take a step back, step to the side, but always keep moving forward. And eventually you will get to the promised land. Now let's look at how to get rid of bad habits. All right. One of my favorite things to do with chips is smash them. You're like, oh man, that's a fresh bag of chips. Why would you smash chips? Well, it's a lot easier not to eat smashed chips. And also another thing I do is I take my beers out and I put them in the cupboard, because warm beers don't look good. Now you know yourself better than I know you. And so what you want to do is you want to make your bad habits, you want to make them as hard as possible. So if you know that that you love going to the pantry, make it hard. Move all the tempting stuff to the back. Move all the hard stuff to the back of the fridge. Move the fridge to the garage. Make anything that's bad for you, make it super difficult for yourself. The harder you make it, the easier it is going to be to keep that change. The harder you make it, the easier that habit will stay. So make those bad habits, make them really, really hard. And you'll be surprised. You're like, oh man, oh, my beers are warm. Who wants a beer? And now I have smashed chips. Great. Thank you guys for tuning in so much. Emoji Party, yeah. Hit those likes. Happy laughing guy. And we need the care guy, because it's crazy times during this pandemic. It's my first pandemic and it's lasting a really long time. So hopefully it'll be over soon. Stay safe, guys. Stay happy and healthy over there. Now we have our Ask the Trainer. Oh, good question. How do I stop eating chips? Thanks, Alex, for that question. It's a good question. One thing is just what I did there is make them less tempting. Nobody wants to eat chips that are all like smashed and crunched up. The next thing you can do is make it hard, make it difficult. So don't keep the chips like out in the front where you can see them. Put those things in the back of the cupboard, in the closet somewhere where you don't see the chips. Because chips are once you start eating them, they're really hard to stop. And why is that? Well, there's a guy that goes every day to work, and his job is to make these chips the most delicious possible. He gets up every morning to do that. Like, how am I going to make these chips more delicious, more delicious? And the thing about chips or anything that comes out of a bag, for that matter, is that you're just gonna keep eating them. You're not gonna have enough fiber. Your brain's not gonna have enough satiety in it. So you're just gonna keep eating them and keep eating them. This doesn't happen with apples. People don't say like, "Oh, I OD'd on apples. I ate 6 apples." That I don't. I've never had that. I've had people knock out like these are the little bags, the big bag of chips. So if you know you can't handle the chips, then another way to do it is just to not buy the chips, which is probably better for everybody. Now, if you have to have something crunchy, then you can do carrots or celery or broccoli. I know it's not a popular answer, but it's good for your brain. We'll talk about brain food in the future episodes. Now let's take a look at our exercise spotlight. I know a lot of you guys are stuck at home working out. So let me show you guys how you guys can do a proper crunch. This is from my TBP app.
We always want to make sure that their knees, hips, and second toe are aligned. Lock your fingers to support your head to make sure there is no tension in the neck. Crunches should never hurt your neck. We want to get rid of the space underneath your low back, so rotate those hips so it's perfectly flush. Support your neck and contract on the way up and on the way down. Nice and controlled. Up and down.
So what you want to do with that, with the crunches, is you want to make sure that the abs are tight, the back is flat, and you're contracted on the way up and on the way down. You can do about 15 to 30 crunches per day. Remember, crunches are just going to help build a core, and that's a really good exercise to just be doing at home. You can do that almost every day. 15 to 20, 3 sets of three to 4 sets per day should do it. But if you're talking about getting rid of the fat that's covering the abs, then that's where you need these habits. Thank you guys so much for joining the group, Fitness Avengers group. We're growing. We're almost up to 150 people in there. So in the Fitness Avenger group, I also have office hours. So office hours are where you put your questions in, and then we work through it, and we work through solutions that I actually go through with my clients. Like, maybe someone went hiking and their knee hurts, or their ankle hurts, or they can't execute on their nutrition plan, whatever it may be. We tackle those things together as a group. So if you want to be part of those office hours, then jump in to the Fitness Avengers, and I will send you an invite in and let you in. Use the hashtag Mighty Muscle. Thank you guys for tuning in. Cassandra, I see you. Courtney, and I know you're on there. Kona is also hopefully not watching because it's kind of young to be watching YouTube videos. Oh no, it's Facebook. That's fine. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said earlier, the pandemic is crazy. The numbers are going back up. I hope you and your family are safe. I know as far as my circles are concerned, more clients have different people testing positive. So it looks like it's starting to spread more. It's highly contagious. And the best way that I know to protect yourself is obviously be mindful, use a face mask, don't do anything crazy, but take care of yourself. Water, fruits, vegetables, vitamins, sleep. Sleep helps so much. And exercise, exercise, exercise. Get up in the morning, write in a journal, be grateful, take care of yourself. Remember, my job, my purpose in life is to bring you health and happiness. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the skinny side. Dun, 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 dun. That's my music. Dun, 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 dun.